All right, we're going to do two problems in this video. The first one tells us it wants us to receive an input for a number, then multiply that number by 2, then add 9, then subtract 3, then divide by 2, then subtract the original number, and then print the results. All right, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put our name as a comment at the top. So name, and then we're going to want to put a brief description of what our program does. Does some cool math. If this was a real world project, you'd probably want to be more descriptive. In this case, we're just doing math. All right, so let's take an input for a number. Let's start with that. So right here, we're going to say, let my number equal prompt. Please enter a number. This prompt, remember, always returns a string. So if we want it to be an actual number so that we can do the multiplication, the addition, and the subtraction, then we need to convert it. So if they enter a number with decimal places, I want to keep track of that. So I'm going to use parse float. So I'm going to turn my string into a floating number. So we'll say parse float. And that takes in an input of a string and turns it into a float. So I'm going to prompt them for a number, going to get a number, as a string. I'm going to convert it into a number, and I'm going to store it. Once I've done that, I know I'm going to need that original number later. So before I do multiplication, I need to make sure that I don't change what this number is. So I should probably create a new variable. So I'm going to say let's running number equal, and we said multiply that number by 2. So we'll say my num times 2. And then it says add 9. All right, so we can just access our running number again and say running number equals itself plus 9. So now we've added 9. So let's say we took 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 9 is 15. So then it says subtract 3, running number equals running number minus 3. And then it wants us to divide by 2. So we'll say running number equals running number divided by 2. And then it wants us to subtract the original number. So we're going to say running number equals running number minus the original number is my number, because we haven't changed this variable. We've just been changing running number this whole time. And then we need to print the result. So I'm going to say alert running number. So that should be our final answer. So if we save this and we come over to our browser and we reload our page, it'll say, please enter a number. If we enter 3 and we hit OK, the result is 3. And I just realized I'm sharing the wrong screen. Okay, so I will reload this page and it says, please enter a number. I'm going to enter 3. If I hit enter, it runs all those calculations and I get 3. If I reload the page and I enter 10, it runs all those calculations and I get 3. The reason this is called magic math is because no matter what number you enter here, you will always get a 3. So you know you've written this correctly if every time you run your program, you get a 3. So let's move on to problem number 2. Problem number 2 says to rewrite the last problem using compound assignment. So I'm going to start by grabbing my number again, but because I'm in the same file, I cannot reuse the same name. So I'm going to call my variable. Instead of calling it my number, I'll call it num2. So this is my second number that I'm getting. And I'm getting information, and I'm turning it into a float. We can't do anything with num2. We can't use compound assignment on number 2 because we need it to stay the same. Because we need to use it twice in our program. However, all of these times where we did running number equals running number plus or minus, we can change those to be compound assignment. So let's do that. We'll say let running number 2 equal my num times 2. That line has to stay the same. The next line, however, can be shortened. Instead of saying running number equals running number plus 9, we can say running number plus equals 9. The next line says running number equals running number minus 3, so we'll say running number minus equals 3. The next line is, wait, let me just double check I've got all my lines, 2, 9, 3. Okay, so next one is divided by 2, so we can say running number divide equal 2. And then we can do the last one, which is running number equals running number minus my number. So we'll say running number minus equals num2. And I realized that these are all supposed to be running number 2. If you're ever trying to fix multiple lines at once, on a Windows, you'll hold the Alt key. On a Mac, you'll hold the Option key, and you can click into multiple places on your computer, and it allows you to type once and have it be typed into all of those places. So in all of these places, I can just type the number 2, and I've now fixed those so they all say running number 2. So I get my number 2 prompt. I take it and multiply it by 2 and store it back. And then I'm constantly using compound assignment to add 9, subtract 3, divide by 2, and then subtract whatever our original number was. And once we're done, we'll alert our running number 2, and we'll save our code. So if everything works perfectly, we should be able to enter any number on the first one and get 3, and any number on the second one and get 3 as well. So if we come back over, I'm going to hit cancel and reload the page. Okay, please enter number 10, 3. We knew the first one worked, so that's not surprising. Second one, we'll enter 10, and we get 3, which means we successfully were able to adapt our original code to use compound assignment instead. And that concludes this video. Thanks for watching.